today I want to take you guys through a simple garden reset that I did in our lower yard area. Down here we have a whole line of raised beds, and the reason that we had done that is because our property slopes down, and as it slopes down, a lot of the precipitation and the moisture and all the wet and mucky stuff kind of all settles into this area. So it's really hard for us to have planted anything in here. When we first moved into the house, it was all grass, but it wasn't usable because every time we came down here for any purpose at all, we just kind of sunk into the grass. It was really pretty gross. So we ended up throwing down some rock, and to add some life to it, we ended up putting in these raised bed features right along our fence line and then going ahead and planting above it. So that's basically what I cleaned out today. So I'm going to walk you through what I did, and then I also want to share with you a really interesting podcast that I listened to this week and take you through my thoughts in terms of what I heard and what my takeaways were. So stay tuned, I'll walk you through that later. I started by cutting back these ornamental grasses, which were a complete and total mess at this point. And this is one of those tasks that gives you instant satisfaction, just by clearing everything away and starting fresh. It's really important to do this now before the new growth starts coming in, because otherwise it becomes a lot more difficult to clean up. I did go ahead and prune back this Annabelle hydrangea, but there wasn't anything else really at the base that needed to be done. Now all these drip lines I will be going in and checking once the danger of frost has passed, so I still have about a month to go on that. I do have some daffodils that are starting to come up, so just expose them from the leaves and debris that were around it. And then this is a spirea that I transplanted in the fall of last year. Now spirea you don't trim back. Now I had trimmed it back in the fall. I'm not quite sure why I did such a wonky job, but you know, to each his own. But there is nothing to be trimmed back right now. If I were to trim it back right now, I'd be cutting off the spring blooms. So I just leave it as is. If you do want to trim spirea, you want to go ahead and do that right after they bloom so that you don't cut off next year's blooms. Now I do have a clematis in here. I don't know exactly what variety, but I can start seeing some green starting to pop out. This is the variety that blooms on last year's blooms. You can see some more right here. So I didn't necessarily touch that, but I did go ahead and trim back one of these other hydrangea paniculatas. I'm not exactly sure what variety. I did also start to expose this primrose. It's not yet blooming, but I did go ahead and start to expose it. I'm also cleaning up these hakonechloa grasses, also known as Japanese forest grass. And these are easily one of my most favorite ornamental grasses because they bring such a soft, elegant feel to the garden. At this stage, they're really easy to clean up by just gently pulling away that old growth. Just like the grasses from before, it's best to do this before the new growth starts coming in, while everything is still easy to access. I'm taking a moment to clear out the debris from around the rose, but I won't be pruning the roses today because I'm saving that for this week's 5-Minute Friday. Now I'm cleaning up more hakonechloa and basically just repeating exactly what I did in the previous garden bed. You might even notice that I repeat a lot of the same plants across these beds, and that's very intentional. It's that rhythm and repetition that really brings everything together and keeps the garden from feeling scattered, instead making it feel more like one complete space. Even though each area is a little different, those repeated elements help carry your eye through the garden and create a sense of calm and cohesion. Now, I did end up blowing the leaves away, even though I know that goes against a lot of the advice you hear this time of year. But I had a few reasons for it. First, this bed is already pretty narrow, and as I was pulling the leaves away from the base of the plants, especially the roses, I was really just pushing them into the walkway. And I do like to clear them away from the base of the plants, just to give everything a little bit more airflow and keep things from sitting too damp for too long. Second, it was a long, cold winter, and between that and our dog, there was quite a bit hidden in those leaves, if you know what I mean. And honestly, it's fire pit season, and our fire pit is located right next to these beds, and I want to look at something pretty and tidy rather than something like I feel like I have to get to sooner or later. But this actually reminded me of something I listened to recently. It was the Garden Mixer podcast where they talked about the pressure to get everything right in the garden. And it made me realize how easy it is to feel like you're doing something wrong no matter what choice you make. There's so much information, so many opinions, and what you should and shouldn't be doing. But the truth is, it's almost impossible to do everything perfectly. We're all just doing the best we can, learning as we go, and making decisions that work for our space, our lives, and our gardens. And sometimes that just means starting with a clean slate. Now, the biggest thing I didn't prune are my roses, and there is a whole strategy behind that. I'm actually going to go ahead and prune those for my 5-minute Friday segment this Friday. So if you guys are interested in how to do that and when to be doing that and the proper ways to do that, make sure to tune in on Friday. Hope you guys are having a good day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.